Hello, everybody. This is Gwen with CraftyLadyDesigns.com and Scrapadabadoo.com. We're here today to celebrate the Crafting Day, and so happy that you showed up to be here with us. Xandra just had a show. The designers from Scrapadabadoo.com is providing a show. Carol and Barry have provided the supplies for all the projects that we're doing. I'm doing a small mini book. We've done this mini book before. It's called the Tag Mini Book. I did post the cutting guide and on Facebook, and I'll go over that with you here as well. Got some business to get out of the way first. We're going to have a giveaway, just like Xandra did if you were here in the previous show. Let me get my notes. I got everything covered up. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. We're having a giveaway. There'll be two giveaways. Now, if you are an international that wins, you'll be offered the $50 gift certificates because of the shipping cost or whatever. But if you're a U.S. winner, you will have the option to choose the mystery box or the supplies required to make my project. And the supplies to make the project I'm making, the mini book, is on Scrapadabadoo, and I think at the very top of the list it has, and I'll kind of go over them briefly what they are. And I think Barry or Carol has put together the items that will be included. So we will do that at the end of the show. You will pick a number between 1 and 75, the same as Xandra did. Carol will tell you to go. You post your number. She will wait for the lag, and then we know there is a lag and whatever. And then she'll say stop, and when you stop, and of course, the closest to the number that I've chosen, and Carol already has the numbers. They're right in here, but Carol already has the numbers that I've chosen. And then you need to provide her with your, also have them email your contact information, and she will send the gifts to you. All winners must be present to win, and they must provide her with their information no later than Friday the 8th. So that's kind of where we are on that. Are there any questions on that? Be fun. Hi, Xandra. I was there, Xandra. I came in a Scrapadabadoo's channel, so I'd be ready to go on Scrapadabadoo's Ustream channel. So I didn't know if you knew I was there or not, but I was there for every minute. I loved it. You did a great job. It's beautiful. I love altered canvases. So anyway, that's where we are on that. So by the end of the show, now, I'm not sure. I've tried to do a lot of preliminary work simply because this is just, my shows run from 1 to 3 on Mondays or Tuesdays. Gosh, on Tuesdays from 1 to 3. I don't know if we'll get it completely finished. We'll really, really get a lot finished. Then if we don't, I will certainly finish it, and I am going to give it away on my show Tuesday on my channel, Crafty Lady. I can see what my channel is. And Janny did this, and I have it, Janny. My channel, my YouTube, or my my Ustream channel is Crafty-Lady. So I will give this away on Tuesday. You, of course, you'll be there to win, and then I'll need your information as well, whoever wins. So I don't want to gab too much. I do have a tendency to do that. I'll put that aside. If there's any questions, please let us know. And Carol's there, modding, as well as Janny and Margaret Ann. If you guys need anything and have any questions, thank you, Janny. God love her little heart. She knows all that by heart. I don't. Well, I don't. Anyway, now we're going to do this album. We've done this album before. We did it twice. I just I like it. I thought it would be a fun little album to do. This is one that we did. It's called a tag album. And everybody likes tags and has tags. And so this is virtually the album we're going to do. However, we are going to do this in a new paper line provided by scrappydabadoo.com. This paper line is by Bo Bunny, and it is absolutely to die for. It is beautiful paper. I like Bo Bunny. I like it real well. I've used it a lot. Uh, Let me get this out and kind of go through very quickly. I don't want to take too much time. Let me get this out of the way. You don't need to see that anymore. Excuse me for the arm's reach. But here are some of the papers. I think I went through this. Oh, here's the back side. I've been going through. There's the back side. There's the green cloths. This is what we're using for our cover on our book. There's 2 sheets of every design. If you can, I can't adjust my camera. I don't know what's happened to my adjustments. I love this. This is just a family tree type thing. The name of the paper is Heritage. It has a sticker sheet. This, it has a family tree where you can add things, stickers, the music and the piano. This says various things about the family. Family tree has history, grandson, granddaughter, etc. This page is pretty. I stayed with kind of the greens and the beiges. Kind of antique-y, polka dot, of course. There's an acorn, and then there's a ledger, and down on the bottom of the ledger, it's got a school census with different names. It's just, now this family tree, one page is on one side, one tree is on one side of the page, and the other tree is on the other side. If you did a layout with it, etc. It's just gorgeous. So I've chosen my papers, and I've cut out my pages, and as I say, I did do a lot of preliminary work, but I did leave some things I want you to see. There's also on Scrapadabadoo, you can see what we have. Here is a noteworthy pack. Oh, these are darling. I've gone all through them and I've taken them apart, but these are just cut aparts that are already cut apart, rounded, that you can put, their paper, or a little heavy paper. You could put them on chipboard, make a focal point out of them. She sent me flowers, Prima flowers, and wood embellishments. All this is on the page. Sent some flat back pearls and 2 different ribbons, which I love ribbons. Okay. Here's just kind of an organza ribbon. Here is an olive green with brown trim. I put these on boards to keep them nice. This is some more cut aparts. This is a chipboard piece. That's going to be our focal point today on the front of our book. There's also the chipboard, a big chipboard piece with chipboard on both sides, and then the 6x6 pad. I'm using the 12x12 pad to make the cover for the book and the inside cover. And hi, honey, hi, Sandra. I'm so glad you're here. I was there. Hi, Judy. Going to run out of time. Okay. And here is the 6x6 pad. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to do my best to get it done, but it's a little bit more involved. I chose one that is not difficult, quite frankly. But 2 hours, we'll do the best we can. I posted the cutting sheet, the chipboard cutting sheet. So we won't go over that. You can copy that off if you'd like. I will also put this on my. Hi Barry, hi honey, how are you? It's already been posted. Now, I have chosen this as the cover. This one is the cover. I don't know what. I picked up my inside cover and put it away. Oh dear. What do I do with it? I got everything falling everywhere. This is going to be our inside cover. Now I've cut, I'm going to finish up the page. I've already cut all the pages except one. The pages are cut. Let me get my list. The pages are cut 8.5 by 9. 8.5. Here's a page. That's the way it's going to look with a pocket. I've done all of them 6 pages. You need 6 pieces of cardstock, and I like nice heavy cardstock, such as at least 80 pounds. You don't think you need 100 pounds or more, but so we cut our papers 8.5 by 9, and on the 8.5 side, we're going to score it. What's on here? That's not right. 8.5 by 9. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Here it is. It's a wrong piece of paper. On the 8.5 side, we're going to score it at 4.25. And then you're going to turn it on the 9-inch side, and you're going to score it at 2, like so. You do that to all 6 pages. And then you fold up the bottom, which is going to make your pocket and burnish it. You're going to fold it in half. Now, it gets a little stiff because it's pretty thick right now, but it'll be okay. And just burnish. Now, I have taken my envelope punch board. If you don't have one, it's okay. You can use a 1/2 inch or an inch round punch. And I'm going to, this is 4.25. I'm going to punch this at 2 1/8. I've turned it upside. Here's your pocket, and I've turned it upside down like so. And at 2 1/8, I'm going to punch. I'm going to this seam right here where you folded it. It's 2 1/8 as well. So you're going to have 2. There's your 2 pockets with a thumb pull. Now, when we get to the embellishment of the papers, you're going to do that as well on your pieces. I have used frayed burlap to, I better get rid of, I got a coffee cup I got to get rid of. I've used frayed burlap, if I can find it. Where is my, I have gone around all the edges of the papers, and because I virtually have everything cut out to save some time here. I would like to get it finished to a pretty well finished point. I'll finish up some odds and ends before I give it away. I don't know that I'll do the best I can to get it finished. Yeah, I had my coffee. I was drinking coffee while I was watching Zandra. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm watching Zandra. She did a beautiful job. I love altered canvases. I really do. I've done a lot of them. In fact, I did one on the show not very long ago. Her little girl. See, Sandra, I had one of those too, and she danced and took ballet and blah, 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 blah. Now she's all grown up. And she's like your daughter. She is not the least bit interested in crafting. And she is an interior designer, home designer, but not crafter. Okay, so there's our page. You score it in half. turn it and score 2 inches, and we'll fold it up, and I'll show you in a minute how we do that. So that's finished. Now we're going to do our cover. You need 2 pieces at 7 1/4 by 4 1/4. Here's your front, your back, and your spine. Now, your spine on your sheet says it is 7 1/4 by 1 3/4, and it can be. I didn't want to waste paper. I'm getting to be. This is our cover. Now I like this all in one sheet, all in one pass. We can do things to the spine or whatever we want to do. But to rather, because this is a small book, not like the big books, because I usually take and cut it in half, splice it together, and have one big long sheet. So to save paper, I cut my spine down. If you want to put this, if you want to wrap it, and we're going to wrap it, if you want to wrap this with 1/12 by 12 piece of paper, I cut my spine down to 1 1/2 instead of 1 3/4. Now, that's up to you. If you don't, if you're gonna not wrap it, if you're going to, and so if you lay it out like that, and then you're gonna need some in between, as you know, to fold it, and it gives me a 1/2 inch on all sides, and it's gonna be fine to cover and wrap it. Any questions? Okay, so I am going to take some score tape, my favorite thing in the world. I tape the outer perimeter with score tape, and then I fill in. I like it filled in with my tape gun, simply because I like it all covered, or covered to the point. I used to glue all my books front back. I used to brush it on with wet glue. And it's fine. I know Margaret had one, and it covers real nicely. Other than it has a tendency to warp the board, and it does. However, after it dries out, it seems to settle back down. I have placed it under a stack of books that's heavy. And I don't have a major problem with it, but I just kind of got away from it when I got into the score tape, and I like them wrapped. And then when we get this wrapped, then we're going to make our hinge system. Try to get as much. The book, it doesn't take as long. Well, once you get the pages done. It's a 6-page book. It's the embellishment. And as I say, we've done this book before. It's called The Tag Book. It's on my blog. My blog is craftyladydesigns.com. I also have of course, my show on Tuesdays. I love my show. We have a nice crowd. Okay, I'm going to trim this up. I tear my tape, and then I go back and trim it up. So I don't know, and I doubt if I've saved any time. Other than that's just the way I do it. All the supplies that I'm using on this, other than maybe a couple leaves for the flowers out of my stash, is on Scrap-A-Dab-A-Doo, and was provided by them. Okay, now I am going to take my Scrap-A-Dab-A-Doo carries these Scotch. These are 1/2 inch tape opposed to the 1/4 inch on the other tape gun, which I have as well, which I use. But I like this 1/4 inch as well. So Barry got these in for us. Okay. If I get out of frame, I gotta watch, because I've got the camera set over here, because I can't adjust it, and I don't know why my Now I'm going to lay this down. I've marked this. I've taken a ruler and I've marked this a 1/2 inch on all 3 sides because I'll cut the bottom off. And then I put the other side on. Got that straight. I don't know. Look real straight. I'm trying to hurry. Do the same on the other side. Line it up. If I'm in the way, I apologize. I'm trying to see. Oh, that's a little crooked. I can't do that now. Well. Be nice. Please be nice. Can I get through one of these without... No, I can't. Okay, I can't. Up a little further now. Bring it over. Like so. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Well, I'm trying to hurry. I got to start it crooked and I can't because I don't have a lot of wiggle room here with the amount of paper. And I got it a little crooked. And I tried to hurry and that's what happens. That's me. There we go. There we go. We got it. You're going to put this down right in the center and this will leave you enough gap so this will fold nicely like so. Now I take my ruler and across the bottom I'm going to cut this off at a 1/2 inch. So there'll be a 1/2 inch all around the outer perimeter. I'm going to take my little ruler to do my edges. Now I use the same weight chipboard all the time and I have this little cornering I don't know, best rule ever. And I have mine marked, so I know where to lay this. But I want to tell you this, and they have these at Scrap-A-Deb-A-Do. I have used to always just do it on my own, and I would come up short and not get a nice cover. And if you're going to take the time to wrap them, then you want to get them nice and professional looking. And I know we're doing handmade. They're not commercial made, and we don't expect that, but you want them nice. So you just lay that down, and then you cut across and cut off that corner, and they look like so. And they have those little items on Scrap-A-Deb-A-Do. Okay. Now, I always like to kind of bend these up to a point to kind of, as somebody said one time, I heard this years ago, to show them where they're going to live, and that's kind of the truth. And then I take my foam folder and go around the edge, a nice sharp edge. Then I go back and I take my I'm going to take my score tape on the chipboard. Don't forget when you go across here, can you see? When you go across here and you get to that little dent where you've added your, go down into that dent. There again, I'm going to do the outer perimeter. I haven't looked at the chat, so if you got questions, I'm going to look up here in a minute. What's going on? Scrap-a-dab-a-doo. The perfect trim ruler. That's it. Thank you, Jenny. Couldn't think of the name of it. Fantastic. It really, really is. And I used to do them myself, and I'd hit and miss. And, you know, you want a nice... now, I am going to put... Oh, I'm not going to do this yet. I'm getting ahead of the game. But I will do that when I like to do the long sides first. And I am going to take the thin 1/4 inch and I'm going to go around to make sure we get a good stick all the way around. We will, but so I do it both ways. I do it with the of course, the I'll pull this off. Love score tape. Love, love, love. Okay. Do the long sides first. Start in the middle and just push it down. Go to the other side, do the same thing, start in the middle. Now that, I used 1/2 inch. Didn't I use 1/2 inch score tape? I did. I could have used, but that'd be okay because we're going to cover the inside. Now, there's a little tip here that we're going to I just take my fingernail and push it down. It's like wrapping a present, and you fold in the sides, and then you bring this up, and there you go. It's a nice cover, but you need to bring in that little side like you're wrapping a gift when you bring in the sides, so it'll we're about finished with this. Okay, there's our cover, there's our corners. Now very gingerly kind of bend this in, and when you know, don't, I kind of do like so. I got that. But you've got to be careful because you can not tear, but crack your paper, which I have done many, many times. So, there's our book. There's our little book. Isn't it cute? That spine, I changed that size simply because, and I'm going to leave it that way in the instructions, because I personally wanted just to use one piece of paper. This is going to be our inside, like so. So I want one piece again, and I need to cut a piece that is the finished book, and I think that's on our instructions. The finished pages are 4 1/4 by 7. The finished book is 7 1/4 by 10 1/2. Okay, so I want this to leave an edge, and I'm going to make this about 10. I'm going to make this at 10, and see, this Timmy ruler is about worn out. 10 1/2. No, 10 1/4. I'm sorry, 10 1/4 by, I'm going to cut this at 10 1/4 by 7. 10 1/4 by 7. You know who I am. I'm going to take my sign down. Okay, so the 10 1/4, because this has, let's see, 10 1/4. This has some, okay, we're going to do it this way first. We're going to do 7. So don't waste that big long sheet. And 10 1/4. Love this paper. This paper is just gorgeous. Scrap-a-dab-a-doo. Carol sent this to me and said, try to do something with it. Oh, it's gorgeous. Love the colors as well. Okay. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go around it real quick. Braid burlap. And I'm not overdoing it. I'm just going around the edges, taking out that white core along the edges. Anybody have any questions? Ella, I am too. I've had a half a dozen of them. It irritates me. In fact, that one right there, quite frankly, is not that old. I bought another one. I tried to buy others, but I don't like them as well, quite frankly. I like the centering. You can see through it, and you do not really need, but I think I will. I'm going to use 3/8 on this, and then I'm going to run over it with my inside. You don't really need score tape. It's just easy to do. And then we'll have our book finished. Then we're going to do our spine. We virtually now have our pages finished. And we can put them in and start the embellishing. Oh no, we start the embellishings before we put them in. And I'll show you here in a minute how we do that. To make it easier, the job easier. Okay. Get as much as we can done, but I'll add some things to it, as I say. Oh, okay. I'm drawing nerve. Don't have to use a score tape, and you can certainly use glue, wet glue, for all of it. In fact, there's a part where we're going to have to use wet glue. Now this is the 1/2 inch. I'm just running it down the middle several times because I like a really total finish. Now this has some lettering. Be careful of your, and this does too. Believe it or not, they're hard to see, and I'll tell you quite frankly, if somebody saw this and it was upside down, then they really should be able to do that. Okay, I want to be very careful. I have been I want to get it as straight as I can. Pretty good. There we go. Now that you have an extra layer, you've got to be real careful. Put it at a 90 degree. You don't take your books. I'm a reader. I read all the time. You don't take your books and do them 180 degrees. Well, I guess maybe sometimes. Sometimes you might. And sometimes I take, but you've got to be real careful because I've done this. I have torn my seam. And there is our book. And there is the inside of our book. Oh, this paper's to die for, I'm telling you. You need to get on the horn and get some. Hi, Marilyn. I'm just reading real quick. Okay. Wonderful turnout. Wonderful turnout. I know there's other things going on today, so we really appreciate you coming. Okay, now I'm going to do Oh, I know what that paper was then. I picked up that one a while ago and it was cut wrong, but I know why now. It's we're going to make the spine. This paper is the same color as our pages. I always do that. Now, it'll all be virtually covered up. This paper goes with all the other papers. It goes, I mean, I chose the paper for the pages to go with virtually the whole collection. I cut this at 6 7/8. You cut for your spine. This is, this is how it's going to fit. It's 7 inches. Now this one's real easy to put on. If you had one that was connected together that had to slide on, then I always make this about 1/8 of an inch. So I've cut my paper well, it's 10.5 inches long, or 11 inches long, but 6 7/8. Now this is a takeoff of other hinge systems that other people do, but it's kind of modified. So I have found that, and the way I like to do it is I found that 1 inch on either end of the hinges is ample, because I fold them under and all you see is the hinge system attached to your spine. You don't have wings setting out that you have to cover up, and because I like this continuous look. So I start out with 1 inch on the left side, 1 inch, and then I do a 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch, and then 1/4 of an inch. And the half quarter makes 1 hinge and the space in between the second hinge. So then we're going to do half, quarter. Whoa, skip the track. And then we're going to do half, quarter. Then we're going to do half, quarter. Now, if you like real fat, chubby books and all these things, you might want to leave 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch in between each hinge, or virtually in between each page. That's up to you. That can certainly be done. Okay, now we're back to half, quarter. I found that the quarter and then half. Now let me count, because you don't do the quarter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 halves and 5 1/4. This is my last half. The last one you do not do the 1/4 inch. You go over and you do 1 inch. So this is 8 1/4. I'm going over to 9 1/4. So what I have, I don't know if you can see them. There you can. There's 1 inch on the end. There's half inch. This is your last hinge. And on the front, here's your inch, half, quarter. Then I just cut this end off. So just cut that off at the end where your last half inch is. Okay, now I fold those two together first, the first 2 1/2 inch, and fold them all the way across, the 1/2 inches together. I don't fold the 1/4 inch until I start taping them together, and I found that to be easier. Now the inch on the end, you can fold that back a couple times, and the inch on the beginning, and burnish them. Fold that, because that's what's going to fold under. So I fold them and burnish them, because that's what's going to fold under. Now you turn it over, and I'm going to use the 3/8 inch tape, and you're going to take the first 1/2 inch just down the middle. I used the 3/8. Then you're going to go to the second halves. You'll have 6 you'll have 6 pieces of tape when you finish. You're skipping the second 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch. Going all the way across. There we go. Now, pull off your tape, fold that down, stick it down to that second, and then you fold back on your 1/4 inch. So there is your first hinge. Turn it back over, pull off your second, and I got to pull that in, and then fold that down as well. Now be careful, don't fold that all the way down on your 1/4 inch. Then fold back your 1/4 inch. I just find it easier to do this way if you find an easier way. So there we have 2 hinges. You do that all the way across. All the way across. I don't think I really have ever done it. Just make sure you don't move up too far and stick that down on your 1/4 inch. I have been known to do that. So a little word. Let's see. I certainly have been known to do that. I forgot to do my 1/4 inches. I'm gonna do my, there we go. Then I go back and burnish this real well. One more. And there you have it. Now go back real well and burnish. Now even though these particular pages, you know, fold that over and burnish along that real well. Even though these pages kind of cap over, I guess. Now, instead of laying this out like so, and then you've got the wings, and then you cover, you know, that's before, a lot of them do that before putting this on. I don't do it that way. Turn it over, lay it down as flat as you can, and then you're gonna tape this back. This is the back. This, you'll see all your little 1/4 inch, all of your 1/4 inch folds. I'm going to put a piece of 1/4 inch. I use that 1/2 inch. I'm going to put a piece of 1/4 inch down the middle. Make sure that it's all covered. Pull off your tape backing. This is worse than sticky tape, which I don't use. I used to. Oh, Lord. That drove me crazier than I am. Now, lay it down as flat as you can, because you want to kind of pull this out. You want that flat, because you're going to take this and you're going to fold this up like so on top of your spine. And then we're going to run some tape along here. There's a lot of tape, don't we? Do your tape backing. Okay. Now, we're still taping. You want to tape this. Can't get this to lay as flat as I usually do. It'll be fine. It's all new and fresh and stiff and whatever. Make sure there's enough tape because this is the important area because it'll be used a lot. Just there's a lot going on today. Okay. Now, center this in the middle of your spine. This 1.5 inch width, you're going to have a little bit on each side, of course. Center it as best you can, as straight as you can. I can't seem to see. Come on now, and you're going to have it, it's going to go covered where you covered your cover. There we go. And then go in between, burnish real well with your fingers and your bone folder. There you go. There you go. I got it a little off, not too bad. All right. Your book is finished. Well, that part of your book is finished. Now we are going to work on our pages. Now, before we put our pages in our book, and I have all of the pages. I have all the oh gosh, I can't even talk. The mats. I have all the mats cut and finished, and I like to put these down. Number one, it's easier to put them down before you put it together. Now here I have everything cut out. These are the pieces that go across your little pocket, and I also ran them through the envelope punch board to punch out the pull, the thumb pull. And these are about a little less than a quarter all the way around. Those are cut out. These are the pages that are going to go in here. We're going to do next. Now I've also, it's called the tag book. I've made tags. I made 12 tags. These are the number 3 tags. I made them. They're 3 and 8 and my 7, I think. And I bought these little things. I had them and whatever. I made 6 green and 6 of the natural creamy colored. And then these are the big photo tags. When you put this together like so, and put it on your hinge like so, you're going to have a pocket in between. So this goes in your pocket in between. They're photo mats. Okay, so we'll get to that virtually when we get to that, but I gotta have a drink. Oh, I used a hinge system. Lisa Marie, I used a hinge system that's kind of a combination. I just froze. I just froze. I just froze. I just froze. I'm going to have to rewind. Can you see me? Am I frozen? I'm frozen. I'll go out and come back. There'll be 2 recordings.